Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to dive into the first of what I hope is many killer sheep movies. This one's called Black Sheep. Let's watch. The movie starts on a sheep farm.
And everywhere that Dudley went.
About 15 years in the past. This little kid is Henry. His brother is Angus, who we just saw killing that sheep. Now Angus is trying to scare the crap out of his brother. 15 years later, Henry is now an adult. He's coming back to the sheep farm, where Angus still runs the place. And he's deathly afraid of sheep.
Bugger me days. Henry!
Angus is basically going to buy out
Other issues I need to resolve.
Henry. They don't get along.
Man.
We've got these two hippie types, Grant and his companion Experience is her name. And they don't like animals being exploited on these farms, so they steal something. But what the heck did he steal? The canister breaks open. Mutated baby sheep?
And a profitable one.
Angus appears to be doing some strange things which we don't know about yet. Meanwhile, that little baby mutated sheep. Grant, meanwhile, having been bitten by that thing, isn't acting normal. Henry and this guy Tucker, who works on the farm, end up meeting up with Experience.
Oh my god.
What?
The feng shui in this room is terrible.
Here's the problem. Some sort of rabid killer sheep.
Ovonophobia, my therapist calls it.
What's that?
Just a completely unfounded and irrational fear that one day this is going to happen. Why?
Sheep has already killed somebody.
On then, mutton chop.
They find themselves in a truck with the sheep attacking them in the cab. Oops, there goes the chainsaw.
Phew.
The truck ends up down the cliff and they jump out.
This is, I know.
Long way down.
This is where my father fell to his death.
Here's one of the scientists there. He just dumped a bunch of carcasses and stuff down this big hole. Here's Grant, the hippie guy who got bit before. And he takes a bite out of Angus. I remember Tucker got bit.
Tucker, I'm sorry, it's my fault you got bitten.
That's not normal. They confront Angus.
Angus, what would Dad say about all this?
He wouldn't say anything. He'd have been kneading mud with his hand up a sheep's ass.
Henry and Experience are surrounded by sheep and they end up in this hole. Unbeknownst to Angus, some of his scientist buddies have become victims of the sheep.
Get too relaxed.
Well, the hole that they're in actually leads to a tunnel. And they're trying to escape through it with a sheep. You remember Grant, the boyfriend or whoever of Experience? He got bit and now he's turned into a were-sheep. As for Tucker, who got bit, he's back at the lab and he seems to be transforming as well. Tucker has transformed into the were-sheep as well. Appears to be some sort of cure. Eventually. Later on, that scientist gets hers when she's out in the woods. Angus is giving this big speech, and then the stampede of sheep. Now remember, Angus was bitten by Grant. Sheep's gonna leave him alone because he detects that Angus is one of our own. This guy got his mouth bit off. Another run-in with Grant. Henry goes in to find Angus, apparently post-coital with his prize sheep. Outside, some of our human victims are turning into were-sheep. Henry is trying to go undetected through the sheep herd. Angus is now fully turning. Henry and Angus are battling it out.
Tried to kill them. Now it has to end.
Angus had started his airplane. He was going to do I don't know what with it, but full were-sheep. He hits the propeller.
You're okay.
Tucker shows up with the cure. And then Angus shows up.
Angus, it's over.
Have me again.
They decide to blow the whole place up. Movie ends with Experience going to stay on, and they're going to probably go to organic farming.
No, seriously, you could have an organic composting.
Alright, let's talk about this movie Black Sheep. I picked this up probably back in like 2006 or 7, something like that, whenever this came out on DVD. I don't know why I picked it up. It just seemed interesting. A killer sheep movie. I had a lot of killer animal movies, but I didn't have a killer sheep movie, so I figured I had to have this one, so I picked it up. Never watched it until today. I stumbled upon the review of this movie, actually, maybe a few weeks ago, and I thought, you know what? It's got good reviews. I should probably bring that up and watch it. So we did. The wife and I watched it today. And you know what? It is pretty entertaining, actually. There's a lot of funny lines in this movie. It kind of peters out a little bit near the end, but it does have a lot of funny stuff in it, and it's pretty entertaining all along. Basically, what you have here is two brothers. I guess they're in New Zealand. One of them has left the farm. The other one has stayed behind to raise the sheep and stuff, and he's come up with some sort of convoluted way. He's going to add human DNA to sheep. I'm not exactly sure what the end game here was. What was he trying to do with these? Make better sheep? I don't know what, but he was doing this, doing all kinds of experiments. And then what happens is people are getting bit by these sheep and they're turning into were-sheep. Very similar almost to like The Howling. Some of the sequences where they're shape-shifting and stuff and turning into these creatures reminded me of like Howling, American Werewolf in London and that sort of thing, except it's a sheep and not a wolf. They don't seem quite as dangerous, but nonetheless they are. There's a lot of pretty decent gore scenes in here too. There's limbs ripped off. We see bones exposed. We see that guy get his willy ripped off at the end, which was kind of cool. It was kind of stretching out there. That was not an intestine. Yeah, and apparently that guy Angus also slept with a sheep. I didn't show you that. Well, they didn't show that actually, but it was heavily implied that that's what happened. He was with this sheep that was like his highly prized sheep, and he was turning into a sheep himself, so I guess he was attracted to it. And then, of course, we see Henry walk in and he's smoking a cigarette, like I said, post-coital. So in the end, they do find a cure for all this sheep madness, and our heroes get saved and they get cured. And I guess they're going to make an organic farm out of this. Who knows? So anyway, Black Sheep. I'm guessing this came from New Zealand because none of the actors I've ever heard of before, and I think it was filmed on there as well. But you know what? Pretty darn entertaining flick, really. I don't know if this has ever gotten a Blu-ray release. It's definitely on DVD, and I don't know how much you'd pay for this. I'm guessing probably not a whole heck of a lot. I bet it's in the $10 to $15 range. I don't know for sure. But anyway, seek it out. It's called Black Sheep, and it's fairly entertaining, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let me know what you think about it. If you've seen it, leave some comments below, and we'll discuss it. It's called Black Sheep. Watch it. Bye.